Welcome back to my channel. Now, you've been following me in my journey towards a fruit-based lifestyle. And a part of that journey is actually finding a place to live that aligns with those values, right? We want to be able to grow our own trees, grow our own fruit, and be in a more tranquil place where it's a little slower and kind of away from the rat race. So, decided to take a trip to the Dominican Republic and share that experience with all of you. Enjoy. Day one is in the books, and it was an exhausting day. It was a travel day. All right, we had to wake up at 2 a.m. to get to the airport in time. We had our flight to Charlotte, a little bit of a layover, and then from Charlotte to Punta Cana. We stayed one night in Punta Cana because that's where me and my wife got married. So we stayed at the same resort 10 years later, Dreams Royale Punta Cana, just to kind of, celebrate that momentous moment. And it's as beautiful as it was when we saw it 10 years ago. So absolutely amazing place. And Punta Cana is an amazing place. We have come to the conclusion that that is not for us as far as living goes. That's why we decided to do the majority of our time on this trip in Las Terrenas. So day two. Our goal today, I shouldn't say our goal, but our mission today is to do a cross-country drive to Las Terrenas. It's about 4.5 hours to spend the most of our time there, really get an idea of what it's like, what's the vibe, what's the environment, is this ultimately a place we could see as our home? So looking forward to that. About to jump in this car and get on the road. You guys enjoy. So day two is in the books. Another day of traveling, but so much to talk about because the plan was to drive from Punta Cana to Las Terrenas, and everything we had researched and heard from people who have traveled there or people who live there is that you probably shouldn't do that drive on your own, and so many things to worry about, and you should hire a driver, and you guys are crazy for driving cross country in a country that you've never really spent any time in. And honestly, this is just a bunch of fear mongering, to be totally honest, because it was an absolute great journey. Like, we enjoyed it tremendously. The views were breathtaking. Ultimately, it was just stunning. It was really stunning to be a part of and do. So I'm glad we actually did it. I'm glad we didn't listen to the online forums and people trying to spread all that fear. And I understand why people do it. You know, they're being extra cautious. And I'm not saying things don't happen, but I'm telling you out there that if you are thinking about making the drive anywhere in Punta Cana, you know, across country, you know, whether that's from the Santo Domingo airport to Las Terrenas or from the Punta Cana airport to Las Terrenas, it is a beautiful, magical journey. Now, look, you have to be aware, all right? There are a lot of motorcycles and there are not a lot of traffic rules being followed. But if you're aware, you know, you're not on your phone, you're paying attention to the road, you're going to have a great journey. Because, like I said, the views were stunning. Especially once you get past Santo Domingo, the views really heading up to the Samana Peninsula are just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Some of the best views that I've ever seen. And I'm glad I got the opportunity to experience it. So if you do have that opportunity, I do encourage you to do so. All right, so we got to Las Terrenas roughly around 6 p.m. So it was, you know, about to get dark and whatnot. We did get to ride through the town, and it was really cool town. You know, obviously we didn't get to spend too much time there yet, but we'll do that in the next few days. But just really cool town, great vibe, and just beautiful. I mean, you got a mixture of all natural elements here. You got mountains, you got the beach, you just got nature everywhere. And one thing about Dominican Republic I didn't realize is, man, there's a lot of land, a lot of undeveloped land, and we're all about that. Another thing on the drive, because I want to touch on everything for all you. I mean, if you're out there, you're thinking of making this trip or making this journey throughout Dominican Republic. Tolls, right? We spent about, I think around $12 in tolls. Roughly about 20 US dollars in tolls, about 1,200 pesos actually. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Make sure that you have pesos on hand. I encourage you to make the currency transition to pesos when you're here. The locals appreciate that a lot more than you using US dollars. And whatnot. So we went and did that, and we've been using Dominican pesos the entire time we've been here. All right. So we got to our Airbnb roughly around 6:30ish, and a nice little spot. You know, we didn't get to spend much time there. We walked in, we kind of dropped off our luggage, did a quick, you know, walk around the house, and then my daughter was hungry, so we decided we were gonna go to this little beach restaurant that's literally right on the beach, steps away from the water, and had some dinner and then walked back home. I mean, this is all walking distance from the Airbnb. So my wife was absolutely exhausted, so once we got back to the Airbnb, this is where things got a little sketchy. So we get ready for bed, and my wife pulls back the sheet, and the sheet that, you know, you sleep with, like your blanket basically, and there's no sheet on the bed. There's just a mattress cover, and it's not the cleanest. So my wife's like, okay. So luckily she found a clean sheet in one of the closets of the other room. So she put that sheet on, and we were okay there. Then we look in my daughter's bed, and it is filthy. I mean, there's hair all over the sheets, and you could tell they're dirty. They haven't been washed. Same thing with the pillowcases, and there's no additional sheets. So now we got a dirty bed, right? And there were bugs in it. This is the killer. There were bugs in the bed. So we tried to see if there was another bed she could use, but the other beds were dirty too. So now we got a situation to where my daughter, she's scared to death to go to sleep because there's bugs in her bed and whatnot. We tried to makeshift a couple things, and it just didn't work. And now it's getting close to midnight, and we're laying in our bed, and we're feeling bugs too. So yeah, just devastating. So, you know, I jumped on the phone, and I found us a boutique hotel called El Mosquito Boutique Hotel here in Las Terrenas, and this is where I'm at now. You can check it out. It's absolutely beautiful, like just perfect. Everything we would want. As you can see, just the grounds are absolutely immaculate. Your steps from the beach, you can hear the waves from the room. Absolutely amazing. So we're going to be spending our time here. So the Airbnb did not work. My advice on that is to, man, I don't even know, to be honest, because we do our due diligence. The reviews on the Airbnb were fantastic, and I'm not here to drag that place. Maybe it was just you know, a one-off type of situation. But look, if we're gonna spend our time, really get an idea of what this island is about, we want to make sure that we're comfortable and we're in a place that we can, enjoy ourselves and not have to worry about ancillary things like bugs in the bed. So, but we're at El Mosquito Boutique Hotel, man. Right now, one day in, feels amazing. The grounds are amazing. Everybody is super nice here. And the experience of the Dominican Republic so far has been absolutely fantastic. The people here, so nice, so courteous. We don't speak fluent Spanish, but we're learning. And everyone's been extremely accommodating. They appreciate the fact that we're putting in the good old college effort on the Espanol. But today on tap, let's see, what do we got? We're going to be having some beach time today. We're going to spend some time on the beach. And if we get an opportunity, go into town and check out, some of the town area and meet some of the locals there to really get a vibe and a feel of what it is to live in Las Terrenas. Because ultimately, that is the goal, to find a place that is in alignment with what we want to do for the rest of our lives. All right. So we're on to day 3 here, and no more traveling. So that's good. We got the traveling out the way. You know what I'm saying? The flight and the drive. Now it's time to relax and really feel what it's like. Finally, some relaxed time. Day 3 here in Las Terrenas, and man, what an amazing day we just had. Finally, after all of the travel, after the Airbnb situation, we finally got to enjoy this amazingly beautiful place. We're staying here at El Mosquito Boutique Hotel, and as you can see, the grounds are absolutely breathtaking. It's absolutely beautiful. So chill, the vibe is great. They have an open air restaurant here with some great vegan options, a lot of fruit, some juices, pretty much everything you need to be in alignment with this type of lifestyle. So that is very welcome. Man, we spent some time on the beach today, a lot of time on the beach, which I know made my little 8-year-old extremely happy. Water was pretty calm. Just had a great time. Weather's just been fantastic. We didn't really get a tiny bit of rain, but nothing that's going to stop us from doing what we wanted to do. We also got an opportunity to go to a couple fruit markets. And this is what's crazy. This is what I'm talking about when I tell you about my journey and trying to find a place, me and my family trying to find a place that's in alignment with our conscious type of living. So we found a couple fruit markets downtown. I was able to get 2 watermelons, 2 pretty big massive bundles of bananas, 3 mangoes, a large tomato, 2 heads of lettuce, 2 large avocados. You heard all that, right? For $10. You hear what I'm saying? For $10. In the States, just with the watermelons by themselves, we're looking at somewhere in between 12 and 15 bucks. Plus the large mangoes and large avocados. Yeah, we would have been well over $30 in the States. So just absolutely amazing. And we're looking forward to doing that every day. We're going to hit up some markets again as we go forward and whatnot. So it's just been absolutely awesome. Just the vibe downtown is great too. It's a little busy, you know what I'm saying? You got people on their motorcycles and whatnot, but it's so cool. The vibe is great. Everybody is extremely nice and courteous, even with our minimal Spanish skills. But no, we've been loving it so far. The breeze is just fantastic. It's everything that we ultimately hope for. And the beach, like we're at Playa Bonita right now. That's where we spent majority of the day yesterday, and it's just a beautiful beach. We walked up and down the beach yesterday, and what's cool is they actually have another beach. It's called the Hidden Beach, Playa Escondida, which is kind of right off the end of it. You kind of got to go through a little bit of a trail to get there. We haven't done that yet, but we're hoping to do that in the near future, and I'll document that once we do. But it's just really great. Everything's great so far. The vibe's just absolutely fantastic, and whatnot. So that's kind of an update on what my day 3 was like here in Las Terrenas in the Dominican Republic. We're looking forward to what comes next. We want to do some more nature stuff, maybe some hiking, explore some other beaches, and just really get an idea of what it would be like to live here, you know, what our life would be like. I almost forgot to mention, man, we went to a little juice shop called Natural Food. And man, this just to talk about cost of living and how things are so much different here than in the States. We were able to get 3 fairly large juices, right? Fairly large juices for $10. Now, check this out. This is crazy. All fresh juice. Not they squeezed it a couple days ago and left it, you know, refrigerated. No, they were making the juice right in front of us, and that is something you cannot find in the States. And that was just such a welcome sign, because that's something like me and my wife, whenever we go somewhere and we want to get juice, it's always something that has been prepared a day or 2 days ago. It's never fresh. This was fresh. We watched them actually make it. We watched them cut the fruit. We watched them put it in the juicer. So that was just a welcome sight. And look, the juice was fantastic. We bought 3 of them, and all 3 were fantastic. So shout out to that place as well. One thing me and the wife did notice is that, like, when you're downtown and you hit a certain area, I don't know exactly where it is, but you kind of shift from the locals to the expats. All right, there's a lot of European culture here once you hit the expat area. And while that's cool and it's great, you know, we did see some really nice places there. The prices do go up a decent amount compared to when you're around the locals. So just a heads up there. And I will say this, because I've heard a lot of different rhetoric based on what type of currency you should use. And we decided to live like the locals. So we got Dominican pesos, and the people here are very appreciative of that. So if you are thinking about coming to Las Terrenas or the Dominican Republic, go ahead and make that currency exchange. Just based on the few days I've been here, it is much more welcome. Just like trying to speak the language, even if it's a little bit like us, it is very welcome, and they do appreciate it. So just a heads up, just a tip for you moving forward if you guys do decide to check out the DR. Oh man, so this has been such a fantastic trip, I must say. We're 4 days in. Yesterday we pretty much went back downtown. We were able to find another fruit market, and load up on some more mangoes. I'm just mango crazy because the mangoes here are so good. Like literally, I could just eat mangoes while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But we loaded up some on some mangoes, got some more pineapple as well, and just hung out downtown. It's just such a great vibe. The people are so nice. Freshening up on my Espanol as well. But we also got the opportunity to stop at some markets. One of our goals here is to kind of get an idea of what the pricing is going to be like. What's the day to day? What's the everyday type of life like? So we went to the Atlantic supermarket. I think it's a supermarket, Atlantic Mercado, and check that out. One thing we noticed there wasn't a lot of exported items when it comes to fruit. All right, so it was pretty much what's homegrown, which is totally cool. The only thing is, my daughter loves berries. They did not have a lot of berries, but as far as mangoes, avocado, and some of the things they grow locally, heads of lettuce, things like that, very, very inexpensive there as well. Very similar to the street vendors. Like I said, I mean, we're able to load up on mangoes and avocados and pineapples for roughly like $10. Whereas in the States, we're spending, shoot, anywhere from 30 to 40, depending on, how much we need. And that's not counting the berries. So that's kind of the caveat there. So Atlantic Supermarket was okay. Smaller place, and yeah, decent amount of produce there. After that, though, we were able to go to a place called Supermercado Lindo, which it seemed, based on the people there, it was a lot more expats there, but they did have a bigger variety of stuff. The produce area was massive. It was beautiful, very colorful, a lot of options, some exported items as well. They had apples, they had grapes, they had all the melons you can think of. They even had a little bakery in there, so you can get some pastries and things of that nature. Like, it was definitely more universal, wasn't very local based, but and the prices showcase that too. The local fruit that's grown here was just as inexpensive as all the other ones. Like the mangoes were really cheap and things of that nature. But you're looking at like the apples and the oranges and definitely the grapes. It was a little bit more expensive. Strawberries more expensive because I'm guessing those were imported in. Grapes, for instance, I think it was like $4 for 1 pound of grapes. Just to put things in perspective, when we go to Costco and get 3 pounds of grapes, it's around $7. So a little bit more expensive here. So that is something that's different, something that we would have to adjust to, specifically for my daughter, who absolutely loves grapes and berries. She's going to have to learn to transition a little bit more towards bananas and mangoes and things of that nature. But pretty good experience there. The Lindo place also has some other things that we would need to buy as well, trash bags, stuff like that, and that's pretty comparable to the States. But it was a good experience there. Like I said, it was mostly expats in there that I noticed. I didn't see too many locals in that market per se. We also stopped at a couple like stationary places that you could get just your everyday stuff like plates. And I went and I bought a fruit knife because I got a watermelon I want to cut up, and a cutting board, stuff like that. Super cheap. I think I got the fruit knife and the cutting board for like $2. You know what I'm saying, for both of them. They also had chairs, and we ended up stopping at a little boutique for another swimsuit for my daughter. Actually, two swimsuits. That was a little pricey. Very good quality though. So that was about $60. So that was basically like being in the States, to be honest, that little boutique. But you're going to find that here. There are a lot of expats here, a lot of European influence. So kind of nestled in the downtown area, you'll have these little spots that are a little bit more pricey, and that's usually from the imported expat areas. But we're absolutely loving it. Man, the vibe, we got, after we did our shopping and hanging out downtown, eating at some of the local spots, We came back, had some beach times, spent some time in the ocean, spent about an hour and a half in the ocean, went back, got cleaned up, and went back to the restaurant here because my daughter was hungry later that night. And it was fantastic. The vibes are just ridiculous here in Las Terrenas, especially at this boutique hotel, El Mosquito Boutique Hotel. So today, we are going to branch off. We are going to take a drive to Rincón to go see a beach, Playa Rincón, which is supposed to be a beautiful beach connected to a river. So we can't wait to do that. That's going to be awesome. It's about a 2-hour drive. So enjoy as I share some of that, because that is going to be a fantastic adventure. All right. And look, if this resonates with you, if you're thinking about going to Las Terrenas, if you are thinking about moving to the Dominican Republic, maybe trying to find that alignment for yourself, make sure you hit this thumbs up so more people like you can see this video, and we can kind of spread this out there and build a conscious community together. So, and also make sure you subscribe so you can get more updates on us and our journey and my journey to a more fruitarian lifestyle. So we're on our way to Playa Rincón, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Las Terrenas. And I'm telling you, the journey, the views are absolutely just stunning right now. You can see all the greenery, the hills, and it's just a drive that I highly recommend for anybody who wants to, explore nature and see kind of what the Samana Peninsula truly has to offer. Can't wait to actually get to Playa Rincón and see the ocean and the river connected and all that good stuff. It's another beautiful morning here in Las Terrenas, and right now it's actually raining. The first time it's been raining heavily here in Las Terrenas, and actually the power just went out too. So we're getting the full effect of the Dominican Republic right now. So, but to recap, we had an amazing trip to Playa Rincón. Amazing beach, but the journey there might have even topped the actual beach. Look, the drive from Punta Cana to Las Terrenas was amazing. Right, I talked about that earlier in the video. But the drive from Las Terrenas to Playa Rincón may have topped it. It was just absolutely beautiful. And it's crazy because when you're in Punta Cana and you're in Santo Domingo, it's a little bit more busy, right? It's a little bit more fast paced, different feel. Not saying they're bad, but just a different feel. But when you get to Las Terrenas, you get a different vibe here. Las Terrenas, it's a vibe of just tranquility and relaxing, and it's a little bit slower, and the pace is just a little bit slower. But then when you start to travel even further in, through Samana and then up to Playa Rincon, it even gets more tranquil and even slower. So and the views are just absolutely amazing with the mountains and the greenery and some of the valleys. As you can see, just absolutely breathtaking stuff. Playa Rincon itself was just a beautiful, beautiful beach. They have a large landscape of beach area, but also they have, this is what really separates this place from a lot of other beaches. It is a freshwater river that connects to the ocean. So you have like some beach area. On one side, you have the ocean, and on the other side, you have the river. So we spent a lot of time in the river. My daughter just absolutely loved the river. It's so clear. It's just beautiful. The kicker is, though, I'm just going to let you guys know this, it is freezing. Like, the water was ridiculously cold. But once you get in there and get used to it, it's really fantastic. We washed our hair in it. Not with soap or anything, just pure fresh water, the way we're supposed to be washing our hair. And our hair just felt so nice and clean and pure. We spent a lot of time there in that river. And then what's cool is you can actually pay one of the locals. I think it was like something like 1,200 pesos or something like that. So equivalent to roughly a little bit less than $20 for all three of us to take a boat ride through the river and the mangroves, right? And it's just a beautiful sights, beautiful views, real tranquil, just awesome time, right? So we spent a lot of time there, chopped up some fruit, ate some fruit there, and stayed there, roughly from, I want to say we got there around 12:30 and we left around 4:30, 5 o'clock, right? And it's about a 2-hour drive. Drive back, we did drive in the dark for the first time. That was a little challenging because there's a lot of vehicles that don't have, their lights on, or motorcycles with no lights, and you mix that with the aggressive driving and whatnot, and it can get a little shaky. But nothing to be scared of. Just be aware. It's all about being aware, ultimately. So, anyways, fantastic day. Everything has been fantastic. We're learning so much about the country and possibly living here. The kicker now is, after going through Samana, because Samana is absolutely beautiful as well, right on the water. They got a lot of boats out there, and the streets are wider over there than they are in Las Terrenas. But Samana was beautiful too. We're probably going to try to spend some time there at some point, because I think we're at a point to where, like, we love Las Terrenas, but we want to explore Samana too, because that might be a place we want to live, just based on what we experienced just driving through it. So all in all, just learning so much more about what it's like to be here. You drive through these towns, they have all these, what are they called, colmadas, these little tiny little stores and tiny little restaurants. It's not, this isn't the place where you jump on Google to try to find a restaurant and get your reviews. This is a place where you stop, you see something on the road that looks or smells good, you stop, you get your food and you keep it moving, or you get your fruit and you keep it moving. All right, just that's what the experience is. It's a simple, tranquil way of life, and that is in alignment with what we're looking for. And if that's in alignment with what you're looking for, I highly suggest you make the trip to Dominican Republic and see if this is for you. But it's been fantastic. We've been enjoying this so much. I'm looking forward to what comes next. Really, we don't have anything planned for the rest of this trip. We are just going to do, and pretty much that's kind of what we've been doing. We've did a tiny bit of planning ahead of time, but like allowing the universe to guide us and show us what we need to know throughout this week here in the Dominican Republic. So that's the plan, and we're gonna roll with it moving forward. So let's see where the universe guides us. What a trip it has been here in the Dominican Republic. Today is our last day here, and man, I gotta tell you, so much, so much, so much we've been through. Last couple days, wow, what an adventure. We rented an ATV to kind of go through town, and to be honest, the ATV was not in the best condition. So we had a couple times where we got stalled trying to make turns and trying to go in reverse and causing traffic jams and whatnot. So it was not the greatest experience. But, there's ATVs all over the place that you could rent, four-wheelers, scooters, things like that to help you kind of navigate through town. Just, hopefully you'll get a better conditioned vehicle than what we got. But overall, we still had a great time with it and whatnot. And just, spent a lot of time downtown doing some shopping, things of that nature as well. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to ride horses on the beach, and that was a fantastic experience. I highly recommend that if you're into that type of thing. It was so peaceful, so beautiful. We basically, rode the horses for close to 2 hours up into the beach, on the beach, in the water, and then back to the ranch. It was a fantastic place. I'll put the description to the place we went to below, so you can check them out. Extremely generous and nice people, just beautiful people. Highly recommend this place as well. But as with anything, it comes to an end. So I wanted to kind of summarize everything that I have learned and kind of put on in our notepad when it comes to the Dominican Republic. And as far as living here, we love it. It's really checked a lot of the boxes that we're looking for. So some of the main key points, number one, fruit. The fruit here is fantastic. Like, as far as the type of fruit that is native here, you're going to get a lot of avocado, a lot of passion fruit. You're going to get a lot of mangoes, bananas. What else is kind of plentiful here? Papaya, cacao. What else? Melons as well. Limes, right? Those are the fruits that you're going to see in abundance, and by personally, but tasting them, they are fantastic here. Like I could live off the mangoes here, like straight up. I'd have to almost change my name to like Mango Melpica or something because the mangoes are absolutely fantastic. So from a fruit standpoint, A plus. It's just fantastic. The fruit is great. Now some of the other fruits that are imported in, they're going to be a little bit more expensive, probably comparable to the states. But overall, I eat a lot of bananas, and the bananas are super plentiful here. Super plentiful here. Very inexpensive. Shit, you could have your own banana tree. So that's definitely a huge plus. Cost of living, man. Like I've talked about throughout this entire experience, like you could eat and you can get your food and your fruits and things like that for a very low price. So the cost of living from a food standpoint is fantastic. As far as doing things, like if you stick with the locals and you know a little bit of Spanish and are able to actually work with the locals, you're going to get less expensive experiences overall in whatever you decide to do. So just know that. Now there are some expensive stuff too, but you just got to kind of sift through all that. So overall, the cost of living, just based on what we looked at, and even looking at talking to people about renting places and living here and buying homes, it is significantly cheaper than the United States of America. So that's a huge plus. Traffic. Look, do not fall victim to the fear mongering that is put out there, not only by America, because America puts a lot of fear out there, but also by people that have moved to the Dominican Republic for some reason. Like they want to scare you or something, or want to act like they're living in this place where, man, if you drive, you're crazy. No. I mean, I remember I put in just kind of a post on Facebook in one of the Dominican Republic groups about what we plan to do. And I had people telling me I'm crazy, I need to hire a driver and all these other things. No, look, as long as you are aware, like if you're driving, you're aware, you're not on your phone, you're not acting crazy, you are going to be totally fine. Now, are there some intricacies to driving in the Dominican Republic? Yes. There are a lot of people on scooters and motorcycles that don't really abide by traffic laws. Not many people do abide by traffic laws here, but it's more of like a community type of driving. Just be aware of where you are. It's not like people are rude or people are trying to cut you off and stuff like that. It's not like that at all. It's just people are just trying to get where they want to be, but they're very cognizant of what you're doing as well. So as long as you stick within that frame, you're going to be totally fine. And if you don't, you're going to miss out on some amazing features of this country. Like being able to drive from Punta Cana to Las Terrenas, and then from Las Terrenas all the way to Las Galayas to go to Playa Rincón Beach, or Playa Rincón. Like, that's something I'll never forget because the views are just absolutely breathtaking. You get to experience what it's truly like to live here, and do not let something like driving deter you from experiencing everything this country has to offer. Just be aware. I understand that look, traffic is traffic, and it's might not be as easy as driving in America because you can look on your phone and drive at the same time, even though you shouldn't be doing that shit either. But I would compare it to, like, as far as like when you're in the busy parts, right? When you're in the somewhat congested, because there's not a lot of traffic. It's just a lot of things going on at once. Similar to like a New York, a Boston, something like that. But the intent is different because I'm sorry, and I love my people in New York, Boston, the LA and whatnot. But the intent and the mindset is different. The intent and mindset there is like motherfuckers will cut you off, they'll flick you off, they're trying to get where they want to get. They're on a time restraint. They're on a time crunch. That is the rat race of America. It's not like that here. It's not like that here at all. People are trying to get where they want to go, but it's not at the expense of other people like it is in the States. So traffic, like I said, do not fall victim to the fear mongering and whatnot. It's really not that bad as long as you're aware of your surroundings. All right, now I want to get to safety. It's another aspect of fear mongering that everybody wants to throw out there, and the same people. The United States obviously does it, and my wife had a good point. It's like the United States does it because they don't want anyone to leave. They want everyone to believe that the United States of America is the end all be all, when it comes to a place to live and raise a family. But the truth is, man, after spending a week here, like I felt safe everywhere I went. And I don't even speak fluent Spanish. Like my wife felt safe, her being of Caucasian descent. Us with our 8-year-old daughter felt absolutely safe everywhere we went. Why? Because the people here genuinely are loving, nice people. Genuinely. Now, is there bad people everywhere? Of course. But we didn't experience any of that. Like everywhere we went, everyone was extremely courteous, especially the locals. We spent a lot of time with the locals, and my goodness, man, like they are so genuinely loving, man. Like they are the epitome of what humanity should be. And that, I think, has attracted us most to this country. 100%. The fruit, the cost of living, all those things are fantastic. But it really comes down to the people. And the people here are just amazing, man. I can't even put it into words. Like, just to give you an example, we're driving from Playa Rincón back to Las Terrenas, and we spot a little fruit stand and a couple other shops right there on the side of the road. We get out, and this one individual knows that our Spanish isn't that great, and he can speak a little bit of English, so he comes and he's interpreting for us, and just talking to us and asking us what we're doing, how we're doing. We order a few things. They bring out a table, some chairs for us to sit down on the side of the road, converse with us, have fun with us, go above and beyond just and I'm talking, I spent maybe US dollars, like $3, and they're doing all this for us. Just because we're interested in their culture, just because we're here. Like, they are that generous and courteous. My wife had to use the restroom. The lady who sold us some of the fruit let us into her house to use her restroom. Like, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about absolute, generous, genuine, loving people. The way we're supposed to be. And that is the most attractive thing about the Dominican Republic. So from a safety standpoint, never was there a time where we felt uncomfortable. Not one time. And we went up and down and through the streets and everywhere you can think of. And not one time felt uncomfortable. So do not allow the fear-mongering to stop you from experiencing life. Experience it yourself and make that determination. Do not judge a book by its cover. Do not, consider the source. The United States is telling you that coming to the Dominican Republic is not safe. Consider the source. Okay, come experience it yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to be aware, because like I said, I don't care where you go. If you go the States, Europe, Asia, wherever you go, there's always bad apples. You know what I'm saying? There's always bad apples. But do not judge an entire group of people based on hearsay from sources that are ultimately trying to keep you where you are in the first place. All right, so safety-wise, we felt extremely safe. That is definitely not a concern with the Dominican Republic and the places that we have been in this beautiful, beautiful country, in this beautiful, beautiful island. So what else? What else besides safety, besides traffic, driving, besides cost of living, besides fruit? I would just say overall, this is a magical place. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a bigger island, right? So you got a lot more like breaks in culture. You got a lot more different experiences you can have here than say on a small island, like say St. Croix or even Puerto Rico, which we plan to go to next. But all in all, I gotta say, we've experienced so much in just the short week we're here, and that was kind of the goal, to really get an idea. And with the intent of becoming an expat, we really look forward to spending more time here. I think we're going to try to set up something where we could stay a month or multiple months. The problem is we have pets, so that's something we're going to have to sift through as well. But all in all, we love it. But I want to say this for everybody out there who's thinking about it, either traveling here for a vacation or living here ultimately. go ahead and leave any questions you have, because I know I missed some stuff. I know I have. And look, we do extensive research before we come, and we're going to continue to do extensive research on the Dominican Republic. So leave any comments, any questions that you have about the Dominican Republic, Las Terrenas, or anything that I've even touched on here, because I know I can elaborate more in the comment section. And look, if this resonates with you, please give me a thumbs up on this one, because I want to be able to spread this to as many people as possible, mainly because, look, my channel isn't a travel channel. My channel is more based on a fruit-based lifestyle and how that can help you from a health standpoint and whatnot. So if that interests you as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will be doing more travel videos as well, but it's super imperative that you give me a like and comments and drop your questions below, so we can get this to as many people as possible who might need to know more about possibly making the move to the Dominican Republic. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been fantastic. We got one last day here. We're going to be driving from Las Terrenas to an Airbnb. Actually, it's more of like a little resort hotel in Dominicus, which is right next to Playa. So we're gonna check that out a little bit on the southern coast of the Dominican Republic, and then we'll be flying out of Punta Cana tomorrow, and that will conclude our trip. So thank you for tuning in. This has been magical. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. All right, remember, thumbs up. Help us out over here. All right, peace and love, everybody. And remember, the Dominican Republic is a magical, beautiful place. Do not fall victim to the fear-mongering that is out there. I promise you, you will miss out on an amazing experience. Peace out, everybody.